This video looks at Momo Tamaoki's performance at the 2023 Tashkent Judo Grand Slam. And this was a pretty impressive one from Tamaoki. If you like Newaza, you're going to like this video because Tamaoki sure likes to get involved in Newaza, whether it's countering or just going all out on the offense. Now here, after the Seonage, she was able to wrench her opponent's arm behind her back and then use that force to flip her over and establish Osai Komi for the Awasete Ippon victory. So in the quarterfinals, we've got to see some really impressive counter-attacking from Tamaoki. No matter how defensive she looks at times, she always seems to be just one or two steps away from getting onto the attack or getting free. She showed a lot of this impressive defensive skill during the quarters and the semi-final. And here we see again the opponent looking to establish kata sankaku, and she just gets up to her feet with ease. And this was probably the most impressive counter of the video. So her opponent looks to turn her over, and Tamaoki grabs onto her opponent's leg and then is able to roll herself behind her opponent and get into an attacking position. But the referee calls mate. I don't really understand why the refs call mate, just because the attacking players countered at times. Surely if the defensive player is suddenly in an attacking opportunity, they should just continue. Now, this is the end of the quarterfinal. She was able to establish Yoko Shihogatame once again and ride it out for the Ippon win. So in the 57 kilo class, Japan has fielded some of its best recently. Funakubo and Tsukasa Yoshida earlier this year, and both of them had to settle for either a bronze medal or nothing at all. And in both of those girls' cases, they lost because they were quite defensive. So it seems like the Japanese strategy for this one was to come out, get on the offense, take risks, don't get put in a situation where you have two Shidos against your name. Here we're going to see another Sankaku Gatame turnover counter by Tamaoki. She almost arrives in Kami Shiho Gatame, but the Italian girl does a great job of rolling over onto her belly and even gets back onto her feet. So a few headshots there. And now this is the most impressive display of offense. She's got the collar grip in place. She steps over looking for the Sankaku Jime strangle, and it's not quite on. So she's going to reset. She comes back on top, flattens her opponent out, actually looking for a Kurieri Jime, then switching up things by going back to that Sankaku Jime. Seems like she made an effort to pull her left hand up a little bit higher before going for the choke. And the Italian girl is still resisting, so to avoid mate, she comes up again to look for the turnover. Okurieri Jime to flip her, gets her to her belly. The leg was caught in some kind of guard position, and then there's a tap out. So the leg was actually trapped from the back, and the ref refused to call Osai Komi. Now in the final, Tamaoki continuing her aggressive ways. So these two are the two favorites for this competition. Liparteliani from Georgia has some pretty good results, but has tended to struggle against the Japanese top players, who are a bit more tactical in their gripping. And beautiful Sumigaishi counter by Momo Tamaoki, almost landed in Kami Shiho Gatame. Liparteliani did a great job of rolling out of that one. Liparteliani finally got a good grip, So really went to work, tried to get things to the ground in her favor, but Tamaoki countered her, got behind, got the left hand grip deep to turn her over. Now it's just a matter of, can she get that leg out of half guard and establish Osai Komi, putting some pressure on the left side of Liparteliani. And now she's able to begin pummeling this leg free. The leg's about to come out. She lands in Yoko Shiho Gatame, and Liparteliani is actually bleeding on the left side of her face. I'm not sure what that's from. I thought when I watched this the first time it was from bridging, but it seems like it's something that happened earlier, maybe when they hit the mat the first time. So Tamaoki wins gold for Japan. If you liked seeing her counters, check out my video on the Newaza trap that's used by Tamaoki's judo team in Japan, and subscribe for more non-stop Newaza.